We're going to start from standing, so you can come to equal standing on your feet, finding a sense of grounding there, a sense of center. And go ahead and bring your hands together at your heart, feeling the center between your palms, and just a slight press between your fingers, between your thumbs, between the surface of your palms. From that press, feeling the energy coming up to your shoulders, and then letting your shoulders sink down. And let your gaze move down to your fingertips. Let's begin here with a few deep breaths together. Draw a long, slow breath in, and a long, slow breath out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Standing at the top of your mat, you can reach your arms up overhead. Take a deep breath in. And then a side stretch to your right. Breathing out. And then back up through center, inhaling. And stretch over to your left with your exhale. And arriving back at the top again, inhale deeply, this time fold down with your exhale. Come to a forward fold. And pause there for a few breaths. Still feeling the weight coming into your feet. Feeling a generous bend at the knees. Letting your body start to sink down into your lap. Letting your head start to sink down towards the floor. Take a deep breath in. And let a long, slow breath out. Let's walk the fingertips over towards the right. Feel the stretch coming across the left edge of your body. Start to straighten the left leg a little bit more than the right leg. And then we'll walk the hands across. Take them through the middle, reach your hands to the left. Starting with your legs at an equal bend. Soft knees. Stretch to the right side of the body up into the right side of your back. And then begin to straighten the right leg a little bit more than the left. Just going to your degree. Take another deep breath. And release back through center. From center, starting to bend both knees quite deep, coming into a bit of a squat. Hands can stay at the floor. You could brace your arms at your thighs, or you can reach out overhead. Take another deep breath, feeling some of the heat. And then fold down with an exhale. Lift the hips, lower the head. Again, find your squat. Take an inhale, sink low into the heels, low into the hips. And then fold it over with your exhale. 2 more times, inhale into your squat. Exhale, stretch it and fold. Last one, inhale deeply. And exhale, let it go. Pausing just another moment in that fold. From here, we're going to plant your hands onto the floor. You might have to back up a little bit to get your palms flat and to get your arms straight. Trying to line up your shoulder over your wrist. Press wide into each hand. Strengthen all the way up into the shoulders. And then take a bunch of little baby steps, bringing yourself back towards a plank pose. As many little steps as you can, keeping your arms as straight as you can, shoulders over wrists, until you're in a plank or a knees down plank, hovering. Push down into your toes. Still press wide into the fingers. Lengthen through the back of the neck to the crown of the head and breathe. Take one more deep breath. And then let's all come to the knees and push back like child's pose, but keep your heels as they are. Keep your toes tucked under. Keep the knees on the ground, the hips pressing back. The arms stay straight. The elbows are lifted off the floor. Your head might not reach the floor, but let it sink low. Take a deep breath in. Let the whole breath out. And then pull your weight forward. Find that plank again, knees down or up. And then everyone's knees up, hips back, downward facing dog. Feel free to just stretch out that first down dog, maybe lift and lower the heels, bend one knee, straighten the other. But eventually finding your way back to a more centered, level downward facing dog. We're going to take a little flow, I call a zigzag flow from down dog. Take an inhale. Stay here for your exhale. And then your plank pose again with the inhale. And then knees down, hips back, that active child's pose. Exhale it out. Floating forward into plank. Inhale, hover. Exhale, downward dog. Hinge the hips, hinge the shoulders. Plank with your inhale. Use the whole breath to find it. Exhale, sink down and back, child's pose. Again, inhale, float forward. Down dog with the exhale. One more time, inhaling into your plank. This time down into child's pose. You can take a relaxed version. Flatten the tops of the feet to the floor. Nudge your big toes together. Knees can stay put or go wide. Let your hips draw back, let your head sink down. If your head doesn't comfortably reach the floor, you might take your hands, make a pillow, or stack your fists, or even let your hips just lift a little bit higher so your head has some more room to sink low. Stay in that child's pose just a little bit longer. Feel into your breath, becoming present to your breath moving through your body. Again, we'll reach into the side bodies. So first starting with your hands walking over towards your right. Your head may not come down as far as your arms reach across. Maybe your head just rests on one arm. Bring it around the other way. Walk your hands through the middle to the left. Reaching into that right side body. Breathe into that space. And then we'll return to center again. Find the middle. Take a deep breath in. Let it all the way out. Plank pose with your next inhale. Come forward again. Tuck the toes. Rise up. Down dog with the exhale. Staying in that down dog. One more breath. Letting that whole breath out. From here, let's walk forward. Step up towards the front of your mat. Grounding into your feet, bend into the knees, sweep all the way up to standing. Reach overhead. Bring your hands together at your heart. Pause here for a deep breath, feeling tall. As you let the breath out, feel the bottoms of your feet on the floor. Arms reach back up, take an inhale. Bend to your right with your exhale. Back up to the center with your inhale. And fold down through the center with your exhale. Halfway lift. Inhale, strong flat back with strong legs underneath you. And then send your left foot back, coming into a lunge with the back knee down and your body rising up. Find your balance. You might take just a little wider stance, but make sure it's long enough that that front knee is over your heel and not over your toes. So if you want to sink in, just take a longer stance and let your hips come forward with you. Bring your arms up overhead, reaching tall. And another side bend, go to the right. Take a deep breath in and out. Coming back up through the middle, inhale. Bring your arms down with your exhale. Let's step back, bring your right knee back to the floor. Find your way into cow pose. Belly sinks down, chin lifts. And then cat pose. Round the back, lower the head, lower the tail. Once again, cow, inhale. And then child's pose, exhale, send your hips back. Coming forward again, finding your way to tabletop or that plank. And then downward facing dog, lift up. Take a deep breath in. And let the whole breath out. And step forward, walking your feet to the front. When you get there, bend the knees, rise up, inhale, stand, arms overhead. Hands to heart with your exhale. Coming right back up, arms reach, and a side bend to the left, exhale. Back to center, inhale. Fold through the middle, exhale, come down. Halfway lift, strong body in the inhale. Right foot steps back this time, again lunge. With the back knee down, your body comes up. Ground into your feet, lift up through the trunk, lift up through the arms. Find your posture, breathe into it. Let's take our side bend to the left, opening the right edge of the body. And then coming back through the middle, inhale, reach up. Hands to the floor, exhale, come down. Step back again, find all fours. Take an inhale, find your cow, belly down, chin up. Cat with the exhale. Inhale, cow. Child's pose, exhale, push back. All the way forward to tabletop or plank, inhale. And then all the way up and back, down dog, exhale. Take a deep breath in. Let the whole breath out. Bringing your feet forward again, find the front of your mat. Ground into your feet, bend the knees, sweep all the way up. Inhale, get tall. Hands to heart, exhale. Pause here, deep breath in. And a slow breath out. Adding in a little bit, arms reach up, take an inhale. Sink down into chair with your exhale. Side bend to your right, catching your left wrist and pulling it over to the side. Notice if your weight pulls out to the side underneath you, draw it back to center so the legs stay really sturdy. Keeping that bend of your chair legs, we'll slowly start to carve around this circle. So you're bringing your hand down and across, but with that deep bend of the knees. You're going to roll yourself all the way to the middle, folding down to the center. That's where you can start to straighten your legs, coming into your normal forward fold. From there, halfway lift, deep breath in. Send the left foot back, lunge. Bring the left knee down, bring the arms up, take a big breath in, reach tall. Bend to the right with your exhale. Back to center with the inhale. Hands to the floor, exhale. Step back, right to cow. Inhale, belly sinks. Exhale, cat, round it out. Again, cow, inhale. Child's pose, exhale. Plank or tabletop, inhale. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog, exhale. Stay here for a breath. Feeling strong through the hands, through the hips, through the heels. And then step forward. Again, grounding the feet, bend the knees, sweep up. Inhale to the top. Hands to heart, exhale. Back up, inhale. Chair pose, exhale. Again, staying in that chair. Side bend to your left. Same thing, keeping those chair legs centered and strong so they don't sweep out to the side underneath you. Stay centered. Stay as low as you can. That will help protect your back as we bring your arms down and across. Creating that half circle all the way down until you get to the floor, and then you can center it and stretch it so both legs can lengthen. Your head might lower a little deeper. Next breath in, halfway lift, inhale. Right foot back, lunge. Lower your knee. Lift your arms up, find your center, find your balance. Inhale in the center. Take your side bend left with the exhale. Back up with the inhale. To the floor with the exhale, hands come down. Step back into cow pose, belly sinks, chin lifts, inhale. Rounded back cat through your exhale. Again, cow, inhale. Child's pose, exhale, slide back. Inhale, back up, or all the way to plank. And then downward facing dog, exhale. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Bring it forward. Walk or step to the front of your mat. Bend the knees. Rise up, stand. And bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in. And let the whole breath out. Another full breath, just to stand. And then we'll start to bring in some more standing work. Let's continue to flow into it. Arms reach up, take an inhale. Fold all the way down, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Send your left foot back, finding a lunge. This time you can keep that back knee lifted. And we'll take a little flow with the front leg. So you're straightening it a bit as you breathe in, lift the hips. And then breathing out, bend back into that front knee, sink the hips down, lengthen the spine flat. So as you lift up, you can fold over your leg. And then bring it back into that lunge, lengthening the spine. Take another set, stretching it out, and sinking it down. Pausing here in our lunge. We're going to swivel. You'll come around to a wide-legged fold. Walking your hands to your left, turning your toes to point to that long left side of your mat. Finding your way to that centered position. From that center, starting to bend into your knees, sink the hips. You're coming into a squat. Think of the knees starting to go wide versus sinking in. So push wide into the edges of your feet and lengthen out the spine. Take an inhale and then fold back down with the exhale. Lower the head, lift the hips. Again, inhale, find that squat. Flatten the spine, sink the hips. Exhale, fold it over. One more time, inhale to the squat. Exhale, fold. And then coming through that squat, inhaling all the way up, bring the arms up and spread out into star pose, big X shape. From that position, you'll turn your right toes towards the front end of your mat. And just make sure your left toes aren't pointing away from you. So you might nudge your heel backwards a little bit. You'll bend your knee so your right knee is over the front heel, and then arms come out level across the surface. Notice if your body has started to sink towards that front knee, can you bring it back so shoulders line up over your hips? From here, reverse warrior, right arm can come up, open up the right edge of your body, but continue to sink down into the warrior legs. Coming back to warrior two, let's take it into a flow. Inhale, reverse warrior, and warrior two with your exhale, find level. Again, reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Once again, inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Last one, inhale. And we'll come all the way down with the exhale. Hands frame your right foot. You can step back. You can come right into cow pose. Sink the belly, lift the chin. Rounded back cat. One more cow. And then child's pose, sink back. Coming forward into your plank or just to all fours. And then up to down dog. Take another deep breath. And let that breath out. Step forward towards your hands. When you get to the front of your mat, ground your feet, bend the knees, sweep up. Inhale to standing. And exhale, hands to heart. Coming back up, arms reach, inhale. Fold down into your exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Send the right foot back this time, another lunge. Again, that back knee lifted in your lunge, but a nice long stance between your feet. If we're too short in that stance, we don't really have anywhere to go. But the longer that it gets, the more the hips will be able to sink down. And then we'll lift them, straightening that front leg a bit, lowering your head. And then once again, sink the hips, lunge with your head coming forward. We'll use the inhale to lift and the exhale to sink. And once again, inhale, stretch it out. And exhale, find lunge. Pause there for a moment. And bring it around another wide-legged fold. So walking your hands towards your right, turning your toes towards the right, folding down through the middle. Another flow within this space. Couple extra options, so you can keep your hands or fingertips on the floor like we had them last time we came into that squat. Or you can brace your arms at your thighs. Or you can take your arms wide. Or you can take your arms straight out overhead. We'll use our inhale to find that squat. Flat back. And then exhale, tip it over, hips lift, head lowers. Again, inhale to squat, knees wide. And exhale to fold, lengthen the legs. Inhale, another squat. Exhale, fold. And this time, inhaling through that squat all the way up. Rise up to star pose, spreading out. And then again, warrior two. So this time, left toes will be pointing to the front end of your mat. Knee comes forward over the heel. Right heel might nudge back a little bit. Leveling yourself out through your arms, but also through that center line of the spine. From warrior to reverse warrior. Left arm comes up, right arm comes down. Stretch the left side while sinking into the left hip. Inhaling here. Back to warrior two with the exhale, find center. Inhale again, reverse warrior. Warrior two with your exhale. Inhale, lift up. Center it, warrior two, exhale. Last one, inhale, reach. Exhale, come down. Hands to the floor. Step it back. Again, your way to get to your cow. Belly down, chin up, inhale. Rounded back cat with your exhale. Inhale again, cow. Child's pose with the exhale. Coming right back up. Inhale, all fours or plank. Down dog with the exhale. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Take an extra breath here. And let it go. Let's move forward. Stepping back to the front of your mat. Ground into your feet. Bend at the knees. Sweep it up. Inhale. Hands to heart. Exhale. Pause here. Another deep breath in. Slow breath out. Coming into another set of standing poses. Arms reach back up. Inhale. Fold down through your exhale. Halfway lift. Inhale. Step the left foot back. Another lunge. This time a twist. Left hand will stay on the floor. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Know that it's never just the arm coming up. Bring the shoulder with you. Turn the chest. And as you turn the chest, turning the belly, notice if your knee starts to heel out wide. And reset it so it's above your heel. Ball of the foot really pressing down near the big toe. And if it's very challenging to get that press, take a little wider stance and let your body readjust. Taking another breath in that twist, maybe turning just a little bit further. And then unwind all the way around, another wide-legged fold. Pivot on your feet. Tip yourself down to the center of your fold. Right away from that fold, we'll bend at the knees, rise on up, expand into star pose. And then warrior two. Right toes to the front, left heel towards the back. Bend into the right knee, float the arms. We're going to take another flow, similar but not quite the same. We'll use reverse warrior again. That's the same, expanding and finding space on the right side of the body. Then, instead of warrior two, we're going to straighten out the front leg and reach above it, as though you're about to enter triangle pose, but we don't go all the way there. Think of keeping your body turned forward or towards that side of your mat versus turned down, opening up. So we're going to flow, and it might feel a little unfamiliar if you haven't done it before, but allow your body to get used to it. Bend that right knee, sweep up, reach into reverse warrior, and then find level, straighten the front leg, and reach above it. We'll inhale, reverse, find the space on the right side of the body. And exhale, reach forward, use that space on the right side to float. Again, reverse warrior, inhale, and that triangle reach of the exhale. Let's stay there, another breath. This time you can let the right hand come down. Try not to drop with your arm. Stay as lifted as you already were. Left arm comes up. Let's actually take the left hand to the heart and peel the heart up towards the ceiling. Rotate a little bit further. And then from there, pressing the right hand to the inner calf, use that to turn a little bit further. Take another deep breath, pressing into your feet. Feel a squeeze coming through the inseam of the legs. And then finally, right knee bends. Level yourself back up, warrior two, find center. Look over those front fingertips, take a deep breath in. And then bring everything down. Find the floor, hands to the front of your mat, footsteps back. Again, our flow, cow pose with the inhale. Cat pose with the exhale. Inhale, cow. Child's pose, exhale, squeeze back. Inhale, lift up again. And then down dog, exhale. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Bring yourself forward. Step to the front of your mat. Ground into your feet. Bend into the knees. Bring yourself up. And bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in. Let the whole breath out. Arms back up. Inhale, reach. Flowing into our second side. Fold with your exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Your left foot will be in front this time. Right foot steps back, finding your lunge. Even if it takes a few hops to get there. In that lunge, our twist. So right hand will be on the floor this time. Left arm comes up. You're turning towards that front leg and then up and beyond it. Lift the shoulder. Maybe lift the gaze. Again, we want that strong lunge leg underneath you. So if it's starting to splay, it's starting to torque, bring everything back towards center. Squeeze through the inner thighs. Take another deep full breath, maybe lifting a little further into that turn. And then unwind. Unwind it all the way. Turn on your feet. Wide-legged fold towards the right with your toes. Looking back between your legs with your gaze. From there, bending into the knees. Sweeping yourself up. Again, star pose. Reach tall. And then warrior two. Left foot at the front of your warrior two. Turn it all the way forward so it doesn't get stuck part way there, but goes all the way. Right heel steps back. Bend the left knee, straighten the right, float the arms. Again, that flow, letting your body become accustomed to it, will take the left arm up, reverse warrior. Find level with the arms, straighten the front leg, reach above it. Notice some people's knees will go super straight. You want to keep it a little bit supple. Keep a little buoyancy in that knee to protect it, even if it feels like it's a little bit bent, or even a significant amount bent. All right, here's the flow. Bend that knee above the heel, lift the left arm up, reverse warrior. Triangle reach, straighten the front leg, and reach forward above it. Inhale again, reverse warrior comes up. Triangle reach, exhale. Inhale again, reverse warrior. Exhale into that triangle reach. This time staying is a little bit longer. Bringing the bottom hand towards your leg, can face your palm away from your leg, but push the back of the hand onto your leg. Right arm comes up. And then again, we'll use the right hand, the top hand, to pull the chest upward. So instead of collapsing down into your triangle and it getting really scrunched down, we're trying to expand it up, lengthening the underside of your rib cage and then opening the chest towards the ceiling. And give it another breath. And then bend that front knee again. Find warrior two. Find that center space. Look to the front fingertips. Take a deep breath in. And then we'll come all the way down. Hands to the front of the mat. Feet to the back of the mat. When you're there, find your cow. Take an inhale. Cat with your exhale. Inhale, cow. Child's pose, exhale. Coming forward again, tabletop or plank. Downward facing dog, lift up. Take a deep breath here. And let it all the way up. Bring yourself forward, step your feet near your hands. Push into the feet, use your legs to lift you up. Find standing with arms high. And then hands to your heart. Take another deep breath. And let it out. Let's come into one more set of standing poses. Again, we'll continue to flow our way through. Arms reach, inhale. Fold down into your exhale. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Send the left foot back, find a lunge. Briefly in a twist, left hand down, right arm up, open up, and then unwind. Unwind it all the way around to your side, turn on your feet, bend through the middle. From that center point, bending at the knees, sinking into the hips, and rising up, star pose. Right foot turns to the front of your mat, warrior two. Bend the right knee, float the arms. This time shifting into side angle. Right arm can come just to the top of your thigh. Left arm comes towards the ceiling. Feel that long side of your body from your arm down to your heel. From here, using your arm against your leg, your thigh, start to press that leg straight. Again, it doesn't have to go super straight. Keep a little give in that knee to keep it strong. From here, bring your hands together at your heart. Press your thumbs together and press the thumbs onto your sternum and give it a lift. You're going towards the ceiling. You can either stay here or we're going to work towards half moon with hands at heart. So then we'll be balancing on that right leg, bringing your weight forward onto it, lifting the left leg. Again, hands at heart and rotating towards the ceiling. Right leg can bend or go a little bit straighter. Again, it's going to depend on your flexibility in that leg. We'll take another deep breath. Everybody find your way to a forward fold near the top of your mat. So you can bring your feet to the ground and fold yourself over. A ragdoll pose or just a simple forward bend. Take a couple breaths, resetting your legs so they feel more even with each other. From that forward fold, stay for another deep breath in and let the whole breath out. Next breath, take the inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Back to standing, reach it up, inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. Last side, arms up, inhale. Fold down into your exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Step the right foot back, lunge, and a twist. Turn to the left, right arm down, left arm reaches. Right away, unwind your twist and take it all the way around, wide-legged fold. Pause in that wide-legged fold. And then bend the knees, sink the hips, send yourself upright, and then expand. Star pose. Left foot turns forward, warrior two, bend into that front knee. Float out through the arms. Coming from here into our side angle on this side, left arm to the thigh, right arm comes to the ceiling. We'll start to straighten out that leg underneath you, going towards a triangle shape. Still keeping that long, level spine as best you can so it doesn't collapse down. Working towards bringing your hands to your heart. Feeling a little bit more engagement that comes up from the legs and into the core of the body, and using that strength to then lift and turn, using your thumbs to lift and turn your heart towards the ceiling. Whole body is at work here, keeping everything suspended into space. Breathe. You can continue to work here or modify backwards into any of the other poses, or move towards balance. Coming towards that half moon with hands at heart. So it might take a little configuring to get there. Maybe you fall out and you come back in and take your time and take any other modifications that you need. Again, thinking of the hands as guiding the heart upward, turning and opening. Breathe. Last breath. And then release into your fold. Feet are grounded. Body comes down over the legs. Take a couple breaths here. Coming back to center. And then one more time. Deep breath in your fold. Exhale, maybe deepening even further. Halfway lift, strong breath in. Forward fold, let it out. Back to standing, reach up, inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. Stay here for another deep breath in. And let the whole breath out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Arms reach up. Inhale. Fold down one more time. Exhale. Inhale. Halfway lift. This time squatting down again. Find the floor with your hands. Bring it back a bunch of little steps until you're in your plank position. Shoulders over wrists. Hips floating between the shoulders and the heels. One more full breath. And then knees down, hips back, child's pose. Coming back to the softest version of child's pose that you have, that you can connect to, where the whole weight of your body is being held by the ground underneath. Come back to the present. Any present sensations in your body, feel them. Is there a sense of warmth? A sense of a pulse? Maybe some areas feeling fatigue, some areas feeling exhilarated. And of course, coming back to that feeling of your breath. Big, long, slow breaths in. Big, long, slow breaths out. Give yourself another breath here. All the way through the end of your exhale. And then go ahead and find your way on up to sit. We'll be doing a little bit of seated hip work. And so I'm going to give a bunch of options. And you can see where your hips let you go today, and it might be different day to day, it might be different side to side. What we'll do is start with your legs kind of layered. So instead of having crossed legs where one foot kind of gets tucked in the other leg, we want to have the feet and the legs both on the floor in line with each other if you can. So when we have really tight hips or knees, maybe the knees will be up a little higher. If that's the case, and it kind of puts strain on your knees, feel free to wedge something underneath there. Maybe you have an extra blanket laying around or a pillow that you can tuck in. This is where we begin this practice of the hips. Let's have the left leg in front of the right, so we're all on the same page. If that feels fairly easy to get into, we're going to start to bring the knees a little bit narrower, so the legs start to come in line with each other. So that left leg would nudge further to the right, and the right leg nudges further to the left. So now my feet are more in line with my knees. If you can get into that position quite easily, we'll take the front leg, the left leg, and see about lifting that foot up onto the knee, while the other foot would be underneath the lifted knee. So again, if anything's feeling a little off, really super tight, painful, sharp, you want to back up, go back the way you came, having the left leg down in front, or having a little wider stance of the knees. So that triangle shape is going to be a little more accessible until the hips open up. And we start narrowing it into a square shape. Sometimes this pose is called square, or fire logs. You can imagine your calves as fire logs, or perhaps double pigeon, full pigeon. Lots of names for this one. The other thing to keep in mind with this hip work is keeping your hips quite level on the floor. So as soon as you come into your position, you feel like you've tilted off the side of one side of your seat. You want to bring it back down and find that level spot again. Alright, from here we're going to do a little bit of seated cat-cow. So when you're in a seated cat, we're kind of pulling the belly in, and the back comes into more of a rounded C curve. So we're not folding down, but we're getting pulled back into space. Really about the tailbone coming forward underneath you. And then that seated cow, tailbone starts to roll underneath you to tilt back. Your belly comes forward, and then maybe your chest and your chin can lift up into a back bend. So we'll roll between those two. Rounded back cat, and then that arched spine of cow. This is just to feel out where that's going in your hips, kind of getting around some of those different angles of the tissues weaving into your hips. And then finally, arriving at that cow position, leaning forward. And if it works, you can fold down from there. Maybe hands hold you up and your head sinks down. Maybe your body lets you lower all the way down to your elbows, or lowers down into your chin. Or maybe you stay a little bit higher. You can brace yourself on your legs. whatever the position, even if it's all the way upright, think of softening into this space, breathing into this space. And without working through pain, can you just stay and observe your body and how the sensations move or shift or dissolve? And if the sensation is a sharpness, prickly, hot, then taking that time to back out of your position, give it a little more breathing room. Well, I'll take some breathing room just simply by taking one more deep breath in, fill the belly, fill the chest, and empty that breath all the way out. If you've been folded, help your way back up tall, and we'll let the legs out into staff pose. So you can lengthen your legs, maybe give them a little shake. Send the energy out through your heels, lift up through the toes, press down into your hands, and bring the shoulders down and back. Take another deep breath in, and let the whole breath out. And then let's start on the second side. So this side may be a little different from the first. You can take it step by step. The first step is just having the legs layered in front of each other. You can have wide knees, but the right leg will be in front of the left leg. Next step would be starting to narrow the position of the knees. So instead of going wide, they're coming more right out in front of you. At that point, the shins will be maybe even more parallel with each other. And we're looking for the feet to start coming in line with the knees. Next step, front leg, the right leg, would be lifted on top of the other knee, just in line. So the legs are still coming out to that parallel position. We're not pulling it in or tucking it close. Again, looking to feel quite level. So we're starting to flatten this out. If your body is really starting to lift and turn and torque and you're starting to lean to one side, and working towards leveling it out. And if it just won't happen with that leg in the position it's in, go back a step and eventually your legs will have a little more flexibility to get into that pose. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be a year from now, but someday those hips are a little more inviting. So from whatever position you've chosen, where you feel balanced, where you can still sit up nice and tall, we'll start that cat-cow tilt. So again, the cow, or the cat spine is a rounded C curve. You're getting sunk back, shoulders hunched forward, head sinks forward, but the tailbone scoops underneath you. And then the cow, rolling your weight all the way forward, bringing the belly forward, seeing about adding a lift of the chest and the chin. And then rolling back and forth between those two spots. Again, your space to move, to tune in. Notice where that goes. Is there a tightness somewhere that intensifies when you're in one position and either softens or moves to another spot when you're in the other position? Finally, rolling forward into that cow. So the belly comes forward, you're leaning almost as though you're about to come off of your seat, but you don't. And then perhaps folding downward. If your body lets you fold here. Again, if that feels funky in your hips, it's too much, or something's going on in your back or even your neck, feel free to take this position from sitting tall. From any position we're softening, even just closing your eyes, relaxing some of the muscles across your face. Bringing your awareness into your body as though your meditation is simply focusing on any particular cell, tissue, a muscle, a joint, whatever you can tune into, let yourself notice. Let yourself breathe into that noticing. Seeing that even if you stay still, you can continue to feel something shifting, something moving, perhaps even beyond the movement of your breath. One last full breath together. Bring a deep, slow breath in. Stay for that whole breath out. And then again, we'll rise back up. Find your way to sitting tall if you weren't already. And let your legs out, long in front, giving them another little shake. Again, then lengthening, straightening out through the legs, lifting up through the toes, pressing down through the hands, lifting up to the crown of the head. Take a deep breath here. And let it go. All right, we'll find our way down onto your back from here. So you can lay down. When you get down, you might just hold yourself in a little ball, give it a little sway side to side, or with your feet at the floor, knees up. You can send your knees side to side, a little windshield wiper legs. Take what feels okay for you in this moment. Feel your body and let it feel good. And as we spend some time with the hips, this practice, let's give a little softening back into the hips. So we'll take the right knee in towards your belly. You can hold your knee with your hands. Left leg can stay bent with that foot flat on the floor, or it can go flat to the floor, whatever feels okay in your body. With the right knee, start to guide it around in some circles. It's as though you're modeling around that hip joint with the end of your thigh bone, your femur. And take it around the other direction. And then starting to straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling. You can either hold behind your thigh with your hands or let it be on its own if that feels really tense in your shoulders, your neck, or your head. Your leg may not go all the way straight, that's okay, but just lifting it upright, and then take those circles into your toes. You're rotating around your ankle. See if you can go slow enough that you feel every edge of your foot and how it connects into your leg. And we'll take that around both directions as well. If you haven't switched it yet, go ahead. And then we'll flex the right foot. So the sole of the foot starts by facing the ceiling. Keeping the leg as straight as you can for another breath in. As you breathe out, start to bend your knee. Keep your foot flexed and keep your thigh more or less straight up and down. So instead of hugging your knee in, keep the leg further away from you. All right, with the breath, we'll use the inhale to straighten the leg again. And the exhale to bend. What we're trying to do is just isolate that movement of the knee. So that's all that's going on. Maybe some days your knees feel boring or this sort of thing feels tedious, but give it a chance. Give your knee all the attention that you have. And let it move without any weight bearing on it. Slow and simple. All right, the next time that you bend your knee, go ahead and bring the thigh in close again. Either holding behind your thigh or holding at your shin to bring the knee in as close as you can get it, but also a little bit wide. So you're starting to bring the knee towards the shoulder. And give it another deep breath. If you'd like to stay here, you can, or you can go towards half happy baby. In half happy baby, you'd pick up your foot so it lifts towards the ceiling. You can hold your foot with your hands, or continue to hold behind the knee and hug that knee down. But the foot starts to lift up as far as your hamstrings will let it, and the knee continues to hug down. One more breath. And then easy does it. Let your foot find the floor. Slide that leg back out straight so the right hip opens. Here too, you might give a little shake at the knees and then let your legs rest. Little mini Shavasana. What can relax? In just a few breaths. And what do you feel in those few breaths? Is there a little bit of difference between the right side and the left side of your body, your hips, your legs, your back? Let's come into the second side. So left knee can come in close. Right leg can stay flat or be bent. But let's go around in those circles for the left knee. Slow and steady. Again, here we're stirring the hip. So yes, you're moving the knee, but you're feeling the hip. Both directions. And going from here into that straight, tall leg. So again, going as straight as your leg lets you, and also as vertical as it lets you. So you're kind of pulling that leg away from you. If it's in your hands, there's a little bit of traction. If it's in your hands, remember to relax your shoulders, lengthen your spine, your neck, your head. Let's bring the circles into the toes. Same idea, we might be circling the toes, but it's for the ankle. So what do you feel in that ankle joint? And can you slow it down enough to feel all sides? And take it around the other direction. And then again, foot flexed, heel pushing up. We'll start to bend at the knee. The foot is still in that flexed position. Thigh is still more or less straight up and down. Straighten again through the leg. We'll inhale to stretch up. Exhale to bend back through the knee. Again, that isolating movement of the knee. Just slow and steady with your breath. Perhaps watching your knee and how it moves. See if it wavers or slides side to side. Just trying to smooth it out. You can take another go of that stretch and then bend. And again, we'll bend the knee down close. Now you can hug the leg in towards you. You can guide that knee in and also a little bit wide in the direction of the left shoulder, left side of your rib cage, so the left side of your body somewhere. You can stay in that squeeze just like it is, or shift it more like happy baby, so the foot lifts. You can hold behind the leg, or you can reach up to find your foot, if that works in your body today. Take a few more breaths in whatever version of that squeeze you've got. Pulling your leg down close. Taking another deep breath. And then again, that slow release. You can bend at your knee to let that left foot come back down. Slide your leg out. Let both legs be flat to the floor. Maybe give it a little wiggle side to side through your knees, through your hips, through your feet, and then relax. Another Shavasana. And then finally, let's take your feet nearby. Coming into one neutralizing bridge pose. And for bridge pose, you want your feet quite close near your hips. So if you bring your arms down at your sides, fingertips reaching for your heels, maybe they even touch the back of your heels. And you also want to make sure you keep your head and your neck centered. So try not to turn side to side once you're up in your bridge. We'll push through the feet and lift the hips, rising into that bridge, just opening that front line of the hips that we've been working with in the last several poses. Take another deep breath in, maybe lift a little higher and send the knees a little bit more towards your toes. Last breath and release. When you get to the floor, you can either take butterfly on your back, so the feet come together, the knees come out wide, or invert that. Have the knees at the center and the feet coming out wide. Take what feels good in your body. Take your hands to a place that feels restful at your sides, on your belly, on your chest. And make sure you feel lined up through the spine, through the neck, through the back of the head, resting on the floor. And return to your breath. Coming into another deep, full breath in. Long, slow breath out. Breathe in, fill the belly, let that breath shift up into the chest. And then release the whole body, softening into the exhale. One more breath just like that, full and round and broad. And a complete release, letting go into that breath out. From here, helping your knees so they're back upright. Checking in, does your body need any last thing, any movement, any stretch, any twist? And we'll be moving towards our final relaxation, Shavasana, on your back. You can make yourself comfortable, take anything else you need as you get there. Give yourself the time it takes to get there. Draw deep into the center of your body, bringing your awareness there. And imagine the center space of your mind. Imagine there are still thoughts floating around in your mind, but the very center of the mind is still. So the thoughts start to float just off to the edges, seeing them in the periphery, while you are in the center, where it feels quiet and spacious. If at any point it feels like the thoughts are starting to get closer, starting to fill back into the center, take some time to breathe into the middle of this space. Imagine that the inhale expands, that clear opening. And the exhale you can use to relax in. The inhale, spreading those thoughts even further off to the side. The exhale, relaxing into that wide open space. Inhale to feel clear. Exhale to relax. Allow yourself to rest here. Taking this time for peace, for calm. To release any excess. To release any effort. Let yourself be. and tuning into your breath, tuning into your body. You can begin to move again through fingers and toes, reawaken. Feel free to start gathering in, help each knee upright or all the way in towards your belly. In your own time, helping your way over onto either side, just curled up on that side for a moment. What else can you release? As you're ready, find your way on up to sit. Take yourself upright. Center yourself, feeling tall, feeling grounded, feeling relaxed, and feeling clear. As you tap back into that clear place, can you fill it with something that you are grateful for today? Bringing anything to mind that might give you a little smile, a sense of joy, a sense of comfort or ease. What are you grateful for today? And can you breathe into that feeling? Let's breathe together. 3 full breaths, hands together at your heart. Take a deep breath in.